All right, what's up, folks? Welcome to Foreign. Sorry about last week. I had to work early, so there wasn't one last week. But good to be here. Good to see everyone out there. Alan, get us started off right, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. Here we are.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome. How you doing, brother?
I am doing all right. Yeah, been having a minor, regular medical crap going on with me, quite literally. But I was able to get out and put some more rounds through the CZ Shadow 2 compact with the HoloSun 507 comp on it, and I'm liking that dot. I'm liking it a lot. It's a big window. It's a big, bright green dot. I actually have to turn it down even out here currently in Iowa, 103 degrees or some stupid shit. Feels like 109. But yeah, absolutely loving it. Was able to get that done and had some food with some family, having a good weekend.
Awesome, man. Good deal. We'll get more into the Shadow 2 compact here in a minute. Battle Bean, how you doing, brother?
Oh, hello everyone. I'm doing great. Really. Yeah, I'm just a plethora of excitement, man. Nothing much going on here, man. It's too fucking hot to go outside. It's it's been hundreds for the past 2 weeks. Shit's getting old. I'm ready to fucking get back to 60 degrees and chilly. But I think the only thing that's kind of holding me up is the pool. Other than that, I'm chilling, man. Just working my ass off and kind of staying out of sight, out of mind. I know a lot of people have been asking about me, but yeah, I'm here. I just gotta live a life, man. That's all that is. But thanks for inviting me, and good to see everybody.
Absolutely, man. Always good to have you on. Rob, how you doing, buddy?
I'm going to steal a quote from a wise man and say, better than I deserve. So, pretty good. Actually tried some, Chick-fil-A yesterday for the first time. I know a lot of people talk about that. And I got to say, I think it beats the pants off McDonald's or Burger King, any of that crap. So, uh, just put that out there. Thanks for the invite. Hopefully everybody's having a decent weekend.
Awesome, man. Good to see you. So, Alan, where did you find that plate at? Because I guess Daniel says it works great too. I guess he picked one up.
So the plate itself, I believe it was Impact Machine. I'd have to double check on that, but I believe it's Impact Machine. And the plate itself has a blacked out rear sight that basically gives you a lower 2/3 co-witness. They send a couple of different sets of screws, and this is one of the things that seems to be a little bit of an issue, but they tell you exactly which screws to use. To my knowledge, Daniel actually filed down some screws, but it's a nice plate. It doesn't give you too much of a rise, and with that blacked out lower 2/3 co-witness, I mean, it kept the regular iron sights dead nuts on. I didn't have any problems with that in the slightest. I put 300 rounds through this thing today, and it's none for the wear at all.
All right, so there's a lot of hype about it, and I haven't shot one yet. I haven't been down to Daniels in a little bit, but what do you think are the main differences between it and the regular Shadow? Obviously, the size, but is there anything ergonomics wise that makes it a little bit better, in your opinion, in the feel of it and how it performs?
I'll tell you, for me, it seems like, there's just a small difference in the length of the grip, but it's not hardly noticeable at all. The only other thing different from my regular Shadow to Blue is it does have a little bit more muzzle flip, just barely noticeable, but I shot them side by side because I wanted to compare them exclusively to each other. And wanted to shoot, and yeah, there's just barely even noticeable another a little bit more muzzle flip. But honestly, if you put a light or anything on that, which I do intend on doing, it's probably going to not even be noticeable.
Okay. And what light are you thinking?
Let's say again.
What light are you thinking? You're going to go with a stream light?
Yeah, more than likely. Probably stick with the same lights that one of the lights that I threw at you one day. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of those same lights. And I've beat on those lights, and for the value, they're not bad. They're not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with it.
What brand was that?
That's a Streamlight, the TLR1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I've used Streamlights. I mean, I'm sure Outcast too used them. We used them in the field a lot. I had a Streamlight that lasted me 18 months, no problem, man. Minor scratches. Other than that, sucker was looking great.
So I had a company send me a light to review, and I'm waiting on another email back from them because I like the light in general, overall, but it has one major issue, and the major issue. No, it gets hot as balls. It gets so freaking hot, it is ridiculous. I actually timed it to see. So on high mode, which is supposed to be 1600 lumens, and it's freaking bright compared to, like, I have multiple flashlights and stuff. The highest one I have is 1200 lumens. It's definitely brighter. Took 10 seconds and that thing was freaking roasting. On regular mode, which is supposed to be 1000 lumens, which I compared it to the Streamlight, and it's right there on par. Took 30 seconds and the thing was freaking roasting. Whereas the Streamlight was still perfectly fine. So,
and I mean, to be honest with you, there's a reason why Streamlight has a government contract and others don't. It's not
right.
Because it's all hype. It's a legit good light, And like I tell you, I use mine in countless freaking raids and all kinds of stuff and countless freaking missions. And I think I changed the battery once in 18 months that I was out there, and never had any issues on it. This was it was a light for my rifle, and I really enjoyed that because I mean, it's just one of those things that when when it comes on, it blinds the shit out of you, and the person that's in front of it startles them, man. It fucks them up. I just think the way those lights are built, they're just it just put a little more quality into it. And I think that's what pays dividends,
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the other thing is the build quality. So you can definitely see the difference in the outer shell of how it is and how it's built. Um, and the shape of it's kind of weird. So I tried to look up holsters for it, and there's nothing. So I sent them an email back because they asked me what I was comparing it to because I let them know about the heat issue, and I'm just waiting on a response as far as what they say on that. And then I also asked them about holster compatibility because I didn't see anything, and unless it's based on another shape of a different light out there, that's going to be a huge pain in the dick to get you a holster for it.
Well, and that's an issue with using kind of off-brand or name lights, or even just a name lights, but it's got to be a particular brand. It's sometimes it's really difficult to get a hold of holsters that accommodate that particular light. That's one of the reasons why it's like the TRL H the high lumens is such a common light that it doesn't make it as much of a challenge to find holsters for. I still don't have actually a holster for the Shadow 2 compact yet. I just haven't narrowed down exactly what I want to do there, because I do kind of want to carry it, but I also want to be able to have a Safariland fork on it. So it might end up being a couple of different holsters, but us pistol carriers, we end up with piles of holsters.
Yep, absolutely. I got a cabinet full of them.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
got
how
a
it
drawer
goes.
full of them. And you know what sucks is that I'm left-handed, so everything I have to buy, it's usually custom made because they don't make left-handed stuff.
I hate to argue. I always bring it up when people have this conversation, though. And I guess there is outliers. I'm probably one of them people. I only got a few holsters, so I mean, I got a couple for individual firearms, each gun or whatnot, but not necessarily a couple for each gun. But I've got, I don't know, I don't have a huge box of holsters. I guess different holsters for different purposes, but usually, I don't know. Maybe I'm so cheap I research everything. So I research holsters and, try to get an idea, or if somebody's got one, give it a try or something. But I really, everyone I've bought and it still serves its purpose,
Yeah,
So I
and in
don't know.
some cases, at least for some people, holsters are just based on what they use them for. Because I mean, I remember for the longest, um, towards the end of my career, I was running a National Guard unit, and my commander and pretty much like the local law enforcement, they encourage you to carry. And so in many cases, I had to buy certain holsters that would kind of fit my uniform and stuff like that. Um, but I don't think you're cheap. I think in reality, sometimes too, you know, you just find what works for you. And I've had a couple of holsters that have lasted me for a long time, and it was because those are what worked for me the most. They're the more comfortable. They're the ones that got shape. They shape better into your body. I just think those are that's usually the case.
Yeah. So the reason I have a cabinet full of them is generally I have just for that particular reason that you brought up. I have multiple holsters for the same gun for different modes of carry. So depending on the time of year, so usually depends sometimes on how I'm carrying or where I'm going. Will sometimes dictate how I'm carrying that firearm. So,
I'll be
but
honest with you. The holster that I wore the most, and for some reason just worked great for me, was the Alien Gear holsters. And for some reason, I like those because I could pretty much keep the same backplate, and I just buy the shell for the pistol that I was carrying, and
See,
those are the ones that I really like.
I never liked those. I picked up one. I don't remember when now. It's been quite a few years ago, but and they may be better now. But when I picked the one up, I didn't like the position of how it sat, where the gun was kind of directed at. I just didn't like it. It didn't fit well. I didn't like how it drew. It just didn't work out well for me. I ended up sending that one to to New York to what's his face.
Yeah, but I'm a small guy compared to you, bro. So it's probably, I think that's the height was also the what works as well. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people that are tall that have a hard time with the gear holster. So
Yeah.
Well, that's it. It totally shows. Holsters are so individual, really. It Every person's got their own exact preference on what they like. For a number of years, I carried an Alien Gear holsters. When they started going to like their the modular thing where there was all these other extra bells and whistles, I got away from them. And started carrying a little bit, almost a little bit smaller is what I'd even say. But when it went away from just like one solid piece outside Kydex and went to all these different modular kind of things, I kind of got away from them. But I carried Alien Gear for years. Me personally, the way I carried it, my body type, it worked out really well. And then I just kind of changed a little bit on how I prefer to carry, and I kind of got away from Alien Gear holsters.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
I
Like,
didn't like the price.
go ahead, Rob.
Sorry, I was just saying I didn't like the price of the Alien Gear holsters. Again, that whole cheap son of a bitch. Was it Alien? There was another pretty popular one that was going around for a while. Was it Delco or something like that? Gosh, I can't think of the name of it now. But yeah,
are you
I
talking
don't know.
about Galco?
Yeah, whenever I see like $80 or more, I start really thinking about it. I've gotten by fine with holsters that are like American made and $30 delivered. So maybe I'm not picky. I don't know. I do have $50, $60 holsters, and I have gift holsters, which I'd have valued at probably that or higher. But when you start talking like 180, $100 on a holster, I mean, damn, it's just, I don't know.
No,
I'm cheap.
You are cheap when we know that. But I'll say this: I have a couple of holsters that are over 150, and the first time I bought one that was over that,
150.
The one
God,
holster,
man.
the one holster is $180, dude. But I
You
will
could
tell
buy
you
a high point and a box of ammo for that.
I will tell you this, man. It was well worth the money. And the reason
Maybe
being
you're right.
is,
Honestly, maybe you're right.
the reason being is because of how well it fits the body, at least for me, how well it fits on my body, and just the gun disappears. You really honestly cannot see it. Obviously, if I lean over, you'll see a little bit of print when I lean over, but standing up, walking around in general, you cannot see nothing. And it's very, very comfortable. It's lightweight, so it was worth it.
Yeah, when it comes to holsters, yeah, I agree with Two Live Moo out there. I have paid over $250 and possibly a little bit more. But those are the, like, I'm rolling the whole Safari Land with all the retainers, and it's got all the bells and whistles, and it's not necessarily a concealed carry holster. It that Those kind of holsters are more on the duty belt, on the battle belt, and so they're basically about crush proof, bomb proof kind of holsters. When it does come to my concealed carry, I've gone up and up when it comes to the concealed carry holsters. And now if I'm gonna carry something like the Shadow 2 compact, yeah, I'm gonna put it in a probably what the holster I'm looking at right now. Once I put all the options on it that I want to put on it, is $150 holster.
Well, and that's the thing. You don't want to skimp, especially on like a nice gun like that. You don't want to skimp on going and getting a $20 holster to put it in.
Yeah, when I was carrying, like, say my Ruger 9E, I used to carry that thing all the time in an Alien Gear setup, and that Alien Gear setup, delivered with tax, everything under the sun, was like less than $80. And it has the versatility that Mario was speaking of earlier, in the fact that, if I get tired of carrying that and I want to start carrying something else, I could just swap out plates. And so I carried in that Alien Gear forever and a day with that Ruger 9E, and that's still a full size pistol, but it hid really, really well.
Yeah, and Pat brings up a good point out there too. He says spend over $100 on a gun belt. You cannot go cheap on a gun belt, man. You're gonna carry. You want a nice belt, something that's gonna hold up over time.
I don't know. I guess I'm speaking for basic EDC. So just to be clear, maybe you guys are as well, or are you varied or little variants when you're talking about a duty belt or whatnot. But so I just throw that out there. And again, cheap ass me. Um, shit. As far as I'm concerned, you can order a ACU belt, which Mario's probably familiar with. I don't know how his feelings are, Rigger's belt or whatnot. Those damn things work fine. It's like a nice 2-inch strap. I think you're gonna break before the belt does, and you can get those now for like $5. I don't know. A lot of people like to spend more, but I don't necessarily think you need to. So granted, there's a lot of preference involved with this type of stuff, but as long as the product does the job it's supposed to do, that's all that really matters. I mean, how it looks doing it, that's a preference thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. You again, you hit it right on the head. It is a lot individualized. Um, I was using Bigfoot gun belts exclusively for years, and then Bigfoot gun belts started making belts actually for Alien Gear. The belt that Alien Gear sells is actually made by Bigfoot gun belts, and it's nice, stiff, rigid, everything else. And I still have those belts. I still use those belts from time to time, but my regular everyday belt right now is a Core Essentials belt. Everybody on YouTube seen these things when they very first came out with the ratcheting system and everything else. And I've wore a Core Essentials belt now for about 3 years straight. And this thing is not broken down in any way, shape, or form. Neither did the Bigfoot gun belts. The Bigfoot gun belts look like just a standard leather belt. There's nothing that stands out as it being a carry belt or a tactical belt. What the over terminology used, tactical belt. Matter of fact, the Core Essential belt actually looks more like a tactical belt than the Bigfoot gun belts would ever dream of being. But that's one of the things that I really, really liked about the Bigfoot gun belts is they don't in any way, shape, or form tell anybody, even people that know, that that's a carry belt. It looks like a standard thick side belt.
Yeah, I've had the Core Essentials, but the one that I picked up prior to that was the next belt, which I know there's lawsuits and all that going on with them with Core Essentials for the same system, direction system. But I will tell you, between the two belts, I much prefer the next belt, and the only reason I say that is because it's a lot stiffer and it's held up way better than the Core belt. Maybe I just got a bad one. You know, again, it's a manufacturing process. It's quite possible I just got a shit one. That's all. But between the two, my next belt is held up.
And I'll just tell everybody out there, when I very, very, very first started carrying concealed, I was using a belt that was made by a guy that made saddles for a living. It was like crazy thick. You could almost use the thing as a lifting belt. I hadn't heard of anything that had like a solid core in it, like the Core Essentials, like the Next, like the Bigfoot gun belts, any of those kind of belts that had a solid core inner that allows, that keeps it so rigid. And so I was using just, I just called it my cowboy belt, because the guy that I would have these belts made, and they were custom made, he was one of the biggest cowboys I ever knew in my life.
So the metal in belts concerns me, and I can give you an idea why. Now, obviously, we all have different lifestyles, do different things, whatever. But I have seen situations where people have been caught up on a belt before. You know, it could happen with your watch. You know, like you're not supposed to wear jewelry at work type deal, and you know, with certain machinery, certain situations, it might just be a hell of a lot quicker to cut it. You know, if you got a decent EDC knife, but that's probably not going to work out well if you got a steel core. So on a safety aspect on that sense, I think could be, and you know, if you're going old school and popping from building to building, sliding down power lines, a metal core might get you, you know, fried as well. Something to think about.
I don't think too many of us are going down power lines.
You never know. It could happen.
But valid
I'm
point.
sure we've all had days where like we never would have thought this would be the case.
Yeah, absolutely valid point. I mean, that's one of the things that that I did think about actually when I first got a Bigfoot gun belt. I'm like, really? And yeah, it's going to be extremely unlikely for you to get shocked. But if you have to cut the thing for some reason, you're not going to be able to. Even like the Next and the Cores, trying to cut these things is going to be a tough job. It's not going to be an easy task. Yet having a belt that holds the holster in the proper place, doesn't sag, doesn't roll, depends upon what each person's body needs and individual purpose, really.
Oh, and that's the thing, man. We're all so individual in how we do things, and that's the benefit of having so many different holster options available, belts available. So,
Well, again, just something to consider.
Well, yeah, you can definitely go with military spec, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of times military spec is can I please have a little more, sir?
Oh, if you're referring to those belts, the ACU belts, I can state that's what I call it. I think it's you can look it up under that or whatever. I know I pulled a four-wheeler with it, four-wheeler to four-wheeler. I've done some different shit with that belt that most people probably wouldn't do. Where you were just in a jam and you needed something and it worked. It's strong, so it's definitely stronger than a standard belt needs to be, I think. So, but because it is like almost like a thick seat belt material, you can actually cut it as well. So, in an emergency. So, just throwing that out on the mil spec belt if that's what you're speaking of.
so does your belt have a salad fork holder?
No, the ACU belt doesn't have a solid core or nothing like that. It's just a kind of like a nylon. I believe they call it like a rigger's belt. So, I mean, Mario's got a better explanation. I can show you one, but yeah, you're only going to be able to see so well on camera.
No, I know the belt you're talking about.
Yeah, and they've worked for decades. Yeah, they have absolutely worked for decades. It is it is ultimately a very simple design, and it's tried and it's true.
Is that Army issued belt?
Yeah, man.
I had a couple of those.
I say, if you're cheap, man, it works. So that's all I can say. Like for the longest, I got by with it.
Yeah, I ended up buying a 511 belt, and if you want to keep I don't know, for me it worked better. I like to have a stiff belt when I'm carrying a gun and stuff like that, but everybody's different. But those Army, those service belts work.
And they're cheap. Like compared to other belts that guys are talking, or $100 about, like shit, they're dirt cheap. You get, almost 20 of them for $100.
Hey, and if you got a good fucking relationship with your fucking supply sergeant, you ain't even gotta buy them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but steel buckle, not. I mean, you see all kinds of knockoffs all over the place, and they've got plastic buckles on them.
Yeah, I believe it's aircraft aluminum is what they claimed on that belt. So, pretty sure.
I do have a 511. This actually has a plastic buckle on it, and it's worked great for me. I think the only issue with it is that as I've used it more, it does need an aluminum buckle because it doesn't hold your tightness, and you have to kind of adjust it after you've been wearing, especially if you're like me wearing in the office and shit like that, and you go getting up and down all the time to go and do something and come back. So it kind of loosens up on you. So I wish they would have made it aluminum. It probably would have been able to kind of hold itself a lot better. But the plastic does after a while kind of. Oh, you got one that's there. It says that aluminum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one's aluminum. Works pretty well. I've used it for years. It was, to me, an expensive belt at the time. I think I paid like $35. Still, use it here and there. So, decent belt.
I mean, you'd be surprised. I found some really nice belts on Amazon. I think I only paid like $12 for them, and then they're actually pretty nice. It was actually made of metal. It had like a little clip-on thing where it would, kind of, catches with the belt and actually stays in place really good. And they're not really that expensive. They're like maybe $12.
Well, and for the longest time, I
I
used
know
to
what
use
you're talking about.
just a leather belt, real stiff leather belt. But the problem with those is once you get a decent sized rig going on, they start to sag.
Yeah, and that's the problem that I had. I do love my leather belt. I still use it. I think it's a great belt, but now I use it more for like casual wear and stuff like that instead of carrying a um what do you call it? Carrying a pistol on it. Those that device that you're showing right there, Outcast, those are actually pretty good. I've heard a lot of good things on those.
Now, I think these are good for a uniform belt, like because
Yeah,
they
they
don't.
they are.
They're a bit to put on. Honestly, it's kind of slow. I don't know if the buckles are kind of chunky to get them through the loops. They're not going to fit in every pair of pants. But if it's like uniform, something like that, where you can throw it on, possibly wear it more than once. I don't at the risk of sounding grungy. I don't know. You're good to go. Or over, so you're not like a duty belt. You're not going through all your loops. That's what I would say this belt's good for. At least in my opinion. They do work well, but it's like if you're in a hurry in the morning, like you don't want to try to put this on every damn morning. So, in my opinion, I don't.
Yeah, I find it
To be
really
fair,
amusing when I see guys when I see guys running around with actual riggers belts, just as everyday belts. I'm like, okay, so you got to thread your Cobra connection every morning. What's the point in that? Um, they're actually running around with true riggers belts on. That just doesn't make much sense to me when they're um, Cobras don't go through belt loops very well.
Man, they're talking
60
shit about you, bro. 16
that's
inch belt,
crazy.
man. Man, bro. They're saying you're anorexic and shit is what they're saying.
People say that. I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, I don't know. I
You're
mean,
like one of
I,
my battle buddies,
You,
bro. That
you
dude,
gotta
he
you gotta
could
get rid of those
fucking
salads, man. Eat some meat.
no, he ate more than me, bro. And I swear to God, this dude was fucking 5'11", had a fucking 30-inch waist, and run like a fucking gazelle. I don't understand how that shit happens, but I don't know.
oh, I think the food just converts to energy. Like, yeah, I eat crazy amounts myself. So,
Yeah,
and
it's
people
just he
are
had he
like,
had
"What
a
the hell?" You know.
yeah,
But
he
I
had a
don't
high
know.
metabolism, but then
Yep.
I'm looking at his parents, and his parents, especially his dad, is like really really skinny and tall, and I was like, oh, that's where he gets it from.
They told me that basically going through basic that I had a high metabolism. They threw me on double rations. I caught shit from everybody in the chow line. But that was not cool. But honestly, like my energy
Yeah,
total just spiked like double. It was like after
yeah, but
being for a while, I drained to nothing, and then once I started getting more food, it was just like a different person.
yeah,
So it
and the thing about
does
it
make a
with
difference.
Yeah, same thing with Battle Buddy, and not only that, he sweat his ass off, and when he sweat,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like all your everything goes away, and it's
I
kind of
sweat in
crazy.
the
Like,
winter.
yeah,
Like it's crazy.
yeah, mm-hmm, yeah,
Well, and part of the
Yeah.
problem is is the food that's out there is full of crap and
it is
chemicals
unfortunately
and all kinds of shit that you ain't supposed to
all of
eat.
it.
And they put these chemicals in on purpose. And you know, it's but
More
you basically
filler,
got,
less nutritional value.
well, they have the common lie out there of, well, it's to preserve it, make it last longer, stuff like that. And depending on what the chemicals and stuff are, but it's none of it is good for you.
I mean, think about the shit they're doing now. They're making lab fucking meat,
Well, and
lab
that's it. You
created
got to be
meat.
careful. You got to be careful where you're buying your meat. Look at what's on the package. I was
They got
looking at
meat filler now.
just an example. I was looking at some sausages the other day, and corn syrup. What the fuck is corn syrup doing in a sausage?
Well, you see, that's one advantage in living out here in Iowa. We've every little small town around here has a meat locker. And so all these farmers take their cows and take them to the meat locker. And I mean, you'll have a half a side of beef that literally has been dead within hours from the time you receive it. And so it's as fresh and whole as you can possibly get.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing. And you look at, again, going back to the grocery store, for example. The grocery store, you go and buy a piece of salmon, for example. They add color to make it look nicer. That's not the true color of the salmon.
Well, they don't just add color. Like they add, what is it, like I think it's like wood pulp. They add some red slime shit's legal, and then something now that I just seen an article on or was told about. They use glue, like some type of meat glue they call it, is passed and legal to use. So who the hell knows what's in
So,
some of this shit?
so I guess my
It's
question is, what the fuck is the USDA doing? Because them motherfuckers ain't doing their job then.
they're
Well,
taking money, saying looking the other
well,
way, probably.
no. The problem is that this has been going on for years. That they've lied to everyone about your cholesterol levels and things like that. Like back 50 years ago, 300 was an acceptable number. Now you look at today, and if you're over 100, they freak out telling you that that's bad. Well, in actual fact, having a higher cholesterol is actually good for you. Your brain feeds off the cholesterol. They're literally making you dumber. Is what they're trying to do. They're dumbing you down with all the chemicals and the shit and making you sick on purpose.
That explains certain people on YouTube. Get it?
And don't forget the
Yeah, they've
fluoride
had
in the
too
water.
much margarine and not enough real butter. We started noticing a big trend because they had to get away. They didn't have the animal fats, and so they invented margarine, and now they're discovering that there's all these different things, and cholesterol. Certain cholesterols is literally what feeds the brain, and so we've got massive amounts of dementia and other brain issues because people have been living on margarine, one molecule away from plastic, basically their entire lives, and being told that, oh, it's healthier for you because it doesn't have these fats in this transition and that, or these fats and this cholesterol and that cholesterol.
Yep, that's it. Some of the healthier stuff out there, option wise, as far as that goes, would be ghee or tallow. But yeah, you're exactly right. Dementia wasn't a huge thing years and years ago until we started doing all this shit, dumbing people down.
So, I mean, to go a bit off track here, Vanessa Kitty has a comment out here. Do you buy tea in paper? Do you want to hear how a tree becomes a tea bag? That reminded me of a question that I posed to a number of people actually earlier this week. We have a defined definition in our male society here in America, at least America that I'm aware of what a tea bag is. What would be the definition of a female tea bag? Does anybody have any suggestions? No, am I the only one? I'll throw one out there. Okay, we'll call it a clam stamp.
You got my attention, but I was sidetracked.
I have no idea, man. Snail tracks. That's a good one. Yeah. I even looked in the Urban Dictionary. There is not a definition for a female version of a tea bag. So I do believe that this is something that we can solve.
Camel toe stamp? Oh, I got one. The Predator.
The Predator.
The camel toe touch. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yep. An Arby's roast beef sandwich. There we go.
Roast beef sandwich.
Yep. Just as long as it doesn't have any horsey sauce on it.
Hey, who doesn't like beef and cheddar? And that Arby's sauce is to die for.
Oh yeah.
Good to see
45
Ghost out
minutes
there.
in, and I still have yet to call out the side chat, and that's rather pathetic of me. So I'll go ahead and do that right out at this point. If I can get in Google to cooperate with me, because we have the ever most illustrious Two Live Moo, Bama Dad, Daniel, God is my judge, Ghost, Tactical, Kyle, Thorzax, Vanessa Kitty. There's the YouTube auditor out there. Go eat a bowl of dicks. Yeah, we've got some good peeps out there. Richard White was out there. He's probably getting ready for his gig. I don't know if he's still working. Red Raider Reloading. Edward Petty was out there. Dwayne 7834. Yep. Some good people out there, except for that YouTube auditor.
So, other than Allen picking up the Shadow Compact, has anyone else picked anything up here recently?
No, unfortunately. I want to
No.
pre-op it, but I haven't received it yet, so I don't even know what it is.
Damn. You want a free update?
Yeah, yeah. So that was pretty cool. I'm not even sure how I won it, but I was told I won it. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what it is.
So where did you win it?
It's called the guy's name is called Scully. I think it's Scullion Tactical. So he's basically a guy with a YouTube channel. Can't think of where he lives. I believe it's an urban environment. Talks about being a responsible dad, responsible individual, self-improvement, and parenting, guns. He's currently trying out to be a sheriff, I believe. So basically pretty much a channel up our alley. So, and I know everybody's not in love with law enforcement, but personally I think we need more good ones. So
But hey, a real person out here on YouTube, not some made up character.
Right. Yep, real dude. So actually it wasn't him. So after stating all that, somebody I have no idea that joined his channel threw in on a giveaway and somehow I won it. So waiting to see.
Cool. Good deal, man.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's that new hollow sun with the infrared or whatnot it's got. I'm sure it's not, but I wouldn't mind getting my hands on that. I'm sure you guys have all seen it.
To be honest, the Hollow Sun 507 competition that I put on my Shadow 2 compact is the first Hollow Sun I've ever owned. I actually have never, I started thinking about it and ended up going back through my channel even, and going, hey, dude, have I even ever owned a Hollow Sun? And come to find out, no, that's not the case. I've never actually owned a Hollow Sun. And so far, so good. I am very, very impressed with this 507 competition. It's stayed zero, and it's super bright. It's got some nice reticle functionality to it. Different reticles, like 8 different reticles. So yeah, I'm absolutely digging it so far. It doesn't have the because it's the competition one, it has a larger, more rectangular window. So it doesn't have the curved top with the solar panel on top. But yeah, okay. It doesn't really bother me at all to not have a solar panel.
Oh, I'm a Hollow Sun fan. I can point that out, I guess. Trying to think of what model it is. Had to grab this HS 503CU. So it does have the solar panel. Obviously, this is on a rifle, but which I'm not touching YouTube, nothing like that. So hopefully that's not a problem. But anyway, on an air gun, should state, just to be safe, in case it is a problem or they think there's problems. But basically, I think it works great. Civilian market wise, like I trust my life with it. It's got the shake awake, all that stuff. No problem. Still running the same battery years later. I have backups, but I'm trying to just see how long it takes. And it's still running strong, man. No problems. I basically abuse stuff when I get it, like checking safeties. I'll beat guns on the side of my truck or this or that. The stuff people say, like, I'd never do that. I usually do that because a scratch or whatever, I'm not worried about. It's not a barbecue gun or whatever. I don't care. The guns I was issued looked like shit. Let me put it that way. Yeah, Mario could probably speak to that, but it did not look like the average AR you see online.
Yeah,
I can tell you that
you beat
much.
the
So
shit out of us.
obviously, it's not an AR. Yeah. So it's about function, not looks, in my opinion. But I want to know it's going to function. I want to be damn sure if I hand it to a kid or something, the safety's going to work. It's supposed to, but things happen. You know what I mean? So, but throw my gun, drop my gun, all that type of stuff, get it dirty, out in the rain, snow, whatever. So,
Yeah. Well,
and so far the
that's
house
the thing,
looks great.
We call it the
man.
Jessica Lynch effect.
That's the thing, though. It's got to be, you got to know that it's reliable. Take the Beretta 92, for example. It got a bad rap because of the military, because all the ones that people were being issued were beat to shit. And so they said that,
Yeah.
they all said they all ran like crap. But
Yeah.
um,
In all fairness, the 92 is not a bad gun. I own one. And the problem is with those with the 92s is that after a certain time, they should replace some things, like the frame, the top frame has had tendency of cracking after a while. Stupid stuff like the trigger spring had the tendency of breaking all the fucking time. And these are things that don't break until the shit really breaks. And like the unit armor, it doesn't really go through these things like in detail like they need to. Um, the 92 is not a bad gun, but the problem is that they should have done. It's kind of like the same shit they did with the 1911. They didn't replace that shit until the shit broke. Man, by the time they broke, they were like close to being retired. That's how I got a uh, a 1911 from the CMP with a fucking Israeli slide on it shit. Because that's just how the military does it. They just keep shit until it breaks. And
right, and you brought up another good point there too: mixed match parts. They're always mixing parts.
yeah, they always mix parts. They don't really keep. It is very rare for you to keep a military issued fucking pistol or rifle that has matching fucking serial numbers. It's a rarity.
But I'm like Rob. I'm not scared to throw it in the dirt, throw it in the snow, whatever. It's you can ask Daniel years ago. I freaked out his kid because he had his Glock and talking up his Glock, and I took my M9A3 and I just tossed it in the snow, and he's looking at me like, "You're crazy, man. Why are you doing that?" He wouldn't throw his in. He wouldn't throw his little Glock in. That's perfect,
Because
Pick
it's
mine up,
perfection.
shot just fine, no issues.
It's perfection. That's what you don't want to unperfected.
Some people, I think, think maybe the value. Some people look at guns like a status symbol. Other people look at them as tools. So I guess it all depends
Yeah,
how you look
exactly.
at it. I will
Yeah.
say, if I had that Shadow 2, I'm gonna be a little nicer to that. You got an
Yeah,
expensive
how much the
barbecue
shit costs.
gun, that's different. But I'm not carrying that daily, and I'm probably not grabbing that. If it's shit hits the fan.
That's why you buy like a car or some fucking shit and you beat the fuck out of it. Or even a Glock and just beat the shit out
Yeah.
of them because they're gonna run. Especially a car.
Even
Those
speed guns
motherfuckers, yeah. You beat the shit out
even
of those
speed
things.
guns should be able to get beat up dirty. I mean, if you ever use it, don't think the police are gonna care shit or treat it well.
No, they're not. They're just gonna toss it in a fucking pile of other shit. They got the pile of all the other cast iron fucking hype ones are in there. Or the Jimenez Arms fucking little fucking freaks.
No, Moo, I don't think he bought a Shadow 2.
No, haven't made any crazy purchases like that. Bought a
Shit.
couple knives that may be considerably on the crazy side, but
What would you buy?
a couple spider coats.
Yeah, those motherfuckers are not cheap.
No, they're not. There's one more I want, but that's I don't
There's a
know.
lot of
I
people
would have
that
bought it. I had to buy a windshield, so it gives you an idea of price.
all my soldiers had spider coats, bro. And I'm like, hey, dude, ain't nothing wrong with a Gerber. But, you know, whatever works for people, man. You know, I just personally would not take a fucking spider coat to the field. These dumbasses would take it to the field. Hell, fuck no. I'll take a Gerber. And if I break it or I lose it, well, it's $30. That's it.
Yeah, I've got Gerbers and ran those for a long time. But
Or
you
a
know, expensive
CRK.
and pocket carry ones as well. So I
I'll tell
love
you,
Gerber as well.
I love Gerbers too, man. I mean, I love the fact that they had a government contract because every time you got a fucking field kit, you know, like the cleaning kits, they always come with fucking brand new fucking Gerbers. And yeah.
Ozzy picked himself up something. There you go.
Are the bodyguards really changed, you know? They still got that long ass fucking trigger. I remember I had a bodyguard and I fucking well, I didn't keep it actually. I went and shot it because I wanted to see what the hype was about. Shot it in the range in the gun store and I didn't like it. I didn't like the long ass trigger it had.
I haven't felt the trigger on the 2.0, so I'm not sure. If I was going to buy one of the modern Smiths for carry like that, I'd be looking more along the lines of the Lipsy Special. They have two different ones that don't have the Hillary hole.
What were those police issued Smith and Wessons that I forgot that. It's like a 56 something, whatever it was. I forgot the number. Those are good guns, man. You know, you can get them dirt cheap through any surplus or some shit. Oh, look at you. Go ahead, baller. Hey, I have that one. Yeah,
It's a nice
I'm a
knife.
bit of I'm a bit of a fanboy with Gerber. I don't know what it is. They kind of have my um I don't know. I've always loved Gerber. I actually went to Portland to their factory, man. They gave me all kinds of fucking free shit. I was like, hell yeah, man. That's how you looking now.
Yeah, that one's connected to a belt, so that one's ready to go.
Remember
Spider
when Gerber?
coat are just little pocket things, you know.
Remember when they issued all of us those fucking seatbelt cutters? Remember those Gerber seatbelt cutters that they gave us? I don't know if you ever got any of those.
Were they like shears? Like almost like the medical shears?
It was like a one piece fucking thing, and it had like the cut, like you could use it to like cut your belt. Like if for some reason we use them a lot because we were QRF, so if we ever got in a kill zone or whatever, we need to get one of the guys out. You know, we had to cut his belt. So it was to a point that we had one in every side of the vehicle, with the driver, the passengers, and the passenger side. We keep him there just in case he ever needed to cut one of these fuckers out. I mean, they're great, man. Those are great little fucking things. I kept a couple of those motherfuckers when I came back home because we got relieved by the Marines. I'm like, I ain't giving no motherfuckers shit. Fuck that. I'm taking all my shit.
Clean it out.
Yeah, because you know how those motherfuckers are. They'll clean all your shit up. Those motherfuckers.
There's Daniel out there talking about the PT belts.
Fuck the PT belt, man. Dude, don't get me started with a fucking PT belt. Walking in Garrison and it's fucking bright as fuck. And if you don't have a PT belt, you get your ass chewed like there's no tomorrow. And then you see the SF guys, and then you see the SF guys, and these motherfuckers are walking in cities. Nobody tells them shit. Like, this is bullshit. No, those motherfuckers jack your shit all the time, man. They're like the modern day gypsies of the military, man. Don't leave your shit out. Fucking Marines are coming over, man. Because we got relieved by the 24 Mu. Those are some fucking stealing motherfuckers, man. They'll take your shit in a heartbeat. And they know it too. They know, oh, let's go get some shit from the army. They know all that shit, bro. They'll try to get our shit, man. But obviously, we do have a lot of. I do have a lot of respect for them. We do talk a lot of shit, but yeah, there's always that respect.
Yeah, I've heard some good stories over the years.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, you can't put Marines and soldiers in the same fucking place. Dude. They're gonna fight. It's guarantee they're gonna fucking fight. Yeah. But you can't put two type A fucking groups together, man. They're gonna fucking fight. It's just a given. But yeah, it's cool though. I think the best time I've ever had is when I actually train with Marines. Like we do like a co-op fucking type of training. I've always enjoyed those because it's kind of funny because as much shit as we talk, we do have a lot of our SOPs and the way we do shit is very similar. So it was like easy, like Army infantry and Marine infantry. It's very similar in many ways of how we do shit. The only thing that they have different is that they have actual machine gunners, and that's their MOS. We don't have that. We have everybody's a fucking machine gunner. Somebody goes down, you go grab that fucking pig and you shoot the shit out of them.
Some terminology too, I guess. You could say like drill sergeant, drill instructor.
Oh yeah,
like that.
Yeah, and I remember how, like when you become an E6 and higher, they actually call you by your whole fucking name. Like they'll go staff sergeant, whatever. Sergeant first class, whatever, or first sergeant, whatever. I'm like, God damn, man, y'all need to chill the fuck out, dude. You know who I am. But that's just the way they're structured. So, but I can understand too why they are the way they are, But that's one thing I've always did appreciate that about. A warrant officer? Fucking dude. He said a new platoon. Oh my God, that's a good one, bro. That's a good one.
So how you doing out there with the heat, man?
Oh, it's fucking brutal, bro. We've had like where I'm at, we had about fucking 10 days of consecutive 100-degree days. The July, August, and September, it's just fucking miserable here. I guess the only good thing is that it's dry heat. But the thing about it is, if you stand for too long in one fucking place, you feel like you're baking. Hey, shut up, Bruno. I'm trying to talk here. What? Yeah. So, yeah, it's been. Hey, I'm talking here, sir. Hey, boy, you got an attitude. No, man. Yeah, it's been interesting. But once mid September hits, then it starts getting better. It's
Yeah.
gonna tell Bruno.
Yeah, I'm ready for cooler weather, man. It's been hot and humid here. Not quite as hot as you guys, but it's definitely been hot and humid. We've been in the 90s with high humidity, and it just sucks, man. Wake up sweating and go to work sweating.
You got to stop with this colder weather crap. I mean, comfortable weather, sure, but colder weather, cold, no. Let's not go there yet. So,
I'm not
it's
talking.
nice to be able to leave the house.
I'm not talking snow, man. I'm just talking much cooler weather. Get back in the 60s.
It's nice to be able to leave the house in the morning in a t-shirt. Yeah, that I don't want to give up.
It's been pretty hot out your way too, hasn't it, Alan?
Oh, it is. Well, I got in the Jeep earlier this afternoon when I went to go come home from the range, and it was saying 103. The thing is the humidity has been really, really, really bad here. I've been 103 California, and it can be miserable, especially when you're in direct sun. But it's not like the humidity out here. The humidity is what sucks the life out of you. You very well know, Scotsman, what the humidity is like, but it's just been, when I'm just praying, come on, please just rain already, because everything's wet enough. It might as well be dumping rain. And we got some rain earlier in the week, and then of course the sun comes immediately right out, and there's an argument in my underwear over whose swamp it is. Shrek's in there pissed off. It's not a pretty scene. But it just, yeah, it's been pretty rough. And even at the stagnant state range that I was at, I went through 2 gallons of water while I was there.
Hey, but at least with that kind of weather, you guys do create really good corn. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I definitely haven't been complaining about the rain when it's been coming around, because, well, of course the area needs it. It's like California. You could always deal with more rain. That's fine. And in all actuality, it helps a lot out here. So I'm glad when it rains, but when it rains and then just gets hot, then it rains and it gets hot. It gets miserable. Has layers, I don't know, layers. Yeah, I do still wear layers out here.
So I got a question for you guys, because I don't have this problem where I'm at. How do you guys deal with your, like, let's say you don't have a freaking safe with one of those anti-humidifier thingies. What do guys do if they just don't have that kind of stuff? Like, they clean their guns more often? What do they do?
It's horrible, man. You got to. And I have to constantly recharge mine every other day. The humidity is just stupid. I keep a tracker in there, so I know exactly what it's at. And this past week, it's been in the high 60s and 70s as far as humidity percentage wise inside the safe, which is nuts. So it's literally been almost every day I'm having to take them back out and recharge them and throw them right back in. It's just insane.
I haven't had a lot of problems. I have noticed, long-term storage, it can affect things or whatnot, but I also did practice, like, you should have your hands on your stuff within a reasonable amount of time, at least for familiarity reasons. But it's I'd abrogate like quarterly going through your storage or whatever stuff you don't mess with, and cleaning everything down, wiping it down. It may not even be dirty, but you should still wipe it down, give it a coat of something. So I personally use CLP. I know everybody bitches, they got their preferences, but like we all know, or like I've said before, I'm a cheap son of a bitch, and it worked fine when I needed it, and it still works fine now. So but
CLP
I
works.
do have to go. Yeah, I do have to go over things. I would say at least quarterly, but I am in upstate New York, so I don't have a humidifier and I don't have a big fancy safe. So if that makes any difference.
Well, yeah. And so, like Scotsman's saying, they've got the rechargeable dehumidifier pack things. Um, and so, yeah, I've got a couple of those in there. I don't have like a plug-in dehumidifier. I've got a couple of those, but since I'm going in there and changing them out anyways, what I kind of do on a regular basis is I've got cleanse oil wipes, and so I keep everything pretty well coated at all times with these cleanse oil wipes. That helps a lot in keeping them protected. Because if you clean it, you wipe it down, you put it in dry, it's going to be a rust pile in less than 2 weeks in these times of seasons where it's like heavy humidity. On top of that, I've got a lot of guitars at my place, and so I have dehumidifiers. Even though I don't have heat and air conditioning, I do have dehumidifiers that I run in my place. So I kind of knock down a lot of the humidity in the place, and then inside the firearm storage facility, it everything gets wiped down like every 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm constantly changing out my dehydration packs.
Now, Banner Dad just talked about a Z-Rust bag. I never heard of those. Where those things have like some sort of lubrication inside the bag? What the hell is that?
So those I'm not familiar with. But one thing that you can do too, if you're somewhere you don't have the rechargeables and all that for the safe, is take your gun socks, turn them inside out, and spray them down. Coat them up with what the heck's it called again? Shit.
Camp Dry works well.
I lost the word.
Yeah, I used to coat mine all the time with Camp Dry. The same stuff that you spray on canvas or you spray on any other materials that basically makes it waterproof.
Right. There's I'm having a brain fart, but yeah, if you coat the socks, it'll help prevent some of the rust issues.
I mean, that's interesting. I see so many people have different ways of dealing with humidity. I guess I got a question for Alaskan Ballistics. I don't know. Do they have dry heat in Alaska, or do you guys get humidity over there? Just kind of curious on that one, because I know that usually the west coast is usually dry, but I don't know how it is for Alaska, because Alaska has so many changes in weather even in the summer. It's
right.
It's always
yeah, not Ballistol, but you could use Ballistol. It'll come to me. I made a video on it years ago. I'll have to Maybe I'll make another one. I'll have to think on it. I haven't had a lot of sleep.
You're muted, bro. You're muted.
I've
You
shown
mute
it
yourself.
before, but for me, I use this cleanse oil. It is a U.S. made product, and it's basically it's a CLP. But I've but the one of the things that I like about this stuff better than CLP is its protective nature. It actually protects really, really well in the humidity, the extreme cold. It doesn't gum up. Where basic CLP, I've had some issues of it getting a little gummy, and this stuff doesn't. Um, it's just a product that I use. I'm not affiliated with them at all, YouTube. This is just a product that I purchase with my own money that works well for me. Yeah. And it's American made. So there's that.
What I was gonna say, and I just remembered now. You can use a dry silicone spray, and coat it with a dry silicone spray, and that works really well. Spray them down, let them sit for a day, and then turn them back the right way, and they're good to go.
That's basically what like camp dry is. That the camp dry is just a product name though. It's a dry silicone spray. Okay. And that, yeah, that helps a lot. If you can get socks for long rifles and so forth, that helps a lot. Even in your area, Mario, you wipe something down with CLP and you keep something in a dry sock, it'd be good to just go ahead and camp dry like the outside of it, and let it cure, and put a rifle in that. Even in your area, that works well to help retain the oils that are on the weapon instead of it drying out, because you kind of have a little bit of the negative feature of that. Not quite like Arizona, but you can go a little bit towards things drying out rather than being too moist.
Yeah, I haven't had that problem where I'm at, but I'm always kind of curious to like how other people deal with it and when they're the other parts of the country, because I know like myself, Alaska, Alaskan ballistics, we don't have that problem in the West Coast, but it's always interesting how other people deal with this kind of stuff, because that would suck, man, because you got to stop and think about how much all of us invest in our firearms and stuff, so it's always been kind of interesting.
Well, and another one of the advantages that I've found in an environment like this, where there's lots and lots of humidity, when the heat comes up and the humidity is really, really high, women's shorts tend to get shorter. Side note, it's a positive thing, and I thought I'd note it.
Yes. See, now you're talking. There's advantages to heat. Definitely.
We're talking gun oils and stuff. Daniel's out there talking about beard oils. I mean, now I've never actually tried it, but one of the things that we use out here for undercoating on vehicles during winter months and so forth is straight lanolin, like lanolin sprays. Now I've got raw lanolin that I use as essentially I use it as case lube. Mix it with some rubbing alcohol, some high test rubbing alcohol, and I use that as case lube. But I've never actually sprayed that onto any of my firearms. That might be a long-term experiment.
I can't say I've ever heard anyone doing that, so that would make a good video.
Yeah, come to the more I started thinking about it, I'm like, I don't think I've ever actually seen anybody do that. And I've got this 357 in my cabinet that it's not really that important to me. I wonder if I should do it with that pistol.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the results of that.
In all actuality, yeah, that would be kind of an interesting test. Yeah, they make all these specialty things, and if it's because we use lanolin, and the old school boys, they just will take used motor oil and spray it all underneath their vehicles, and this will prevent any kind of rust from anything happening. But I know the lanolin does the same exact thing. And so if it's the same product that I'm using for reloading, it may work just as well in helping to preserve, not only in a safe, in a cabinet, in a vehicle, or something like that in these high humidity environments. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, like you said, you got it available, so why not? Yeah, we've only out here the only ones I only know of people doing it with the used motor oil. I've never heard of the lanolin oil in the car.
Yeah, Thorzak synthetic two-stroke oil. Yes, I've heard that too. Um, there's a company that's been using lanolin for undercarriage for 50 plus years or something. But I believe that PB Blaster just recently came out with an actual undercarriage coating, and its base is lanolin.
I can tell you my 95's got a self-applying undercoating, and it works pretty well. Go through about half a quart of oil every oil change, something like that.
What the hell is a self-applying undercoating?
Well, it's when it drips a little bit, but it's done to help prevent rust from the undercarriage. You know what I mean? It's just got a natural little seep.
It works best if it's a front main seal leak, but even if it's a rear main seal leak, you'll get most of the suspension and everything as well.
So, it's not always a bad thing. Yeah. And they finally joined us, Ball. I was worried you were locked up or something.
Nah, I'm not locked up. Although, I got more emails from a lawyer I got to deal with and more bull crap and whatnot. Now, I actually had to go see my physical therapist. My shoulder's bothering me. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to join any sooner. I'm actually on my way back. I'm driving right now. So, but I kind of peeked in the chat and I see you guys are dying and they got to be desperate since they brought you in. So, I figure I'll jump in for a little bit.
Well, I'll give you a pointer. If you come on out sometime, hang out with me and whatnot, be social. might be able to help introduce you, and you may not have to masturbate so much, and the shoulder would be fine.
Yeah, I'm trying. Just I've been kind of busy with a lot of crap going on. Plus, I actually have a job I'm trying to finish up. I actually found your hat. It's in my Prius. I even bought a box. I even bought a box to put it in. I just didn't have a chance to go to the post office to actually ship it. So, forgive me. It's just kind of too much going on in my life right now.
I'll cut you some slack under the circumstance, but I am holding my breath on that hat.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Don't worry. Well, keep in mind that the hat is not like a solid hat, so you better not wear it in the direct sunlight because you don't have a whole lot of hair either.
Yeah, I love those hats though. The mesh in the back, I've been buying them like left and right lately because your head's got to breathe.
Oh, is that what it is? No, whenever I wear one of those hats, I get a funny tan on my hat.
Yeah, I get that too, but I don't care.
Well, you don't care because you already have a lady in your life, but I'm a single man now, so I have to care.
No. All you need, honestly, is the proper tinted shoe polish. You can make it look just fine.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to do it. I mean, wearing solid hat like I do now, when I take it off, I look like I had a brain surgery. So what's going on in your gentlemen? Anything new in the world?
Oh, we have gone through quite a gambit of things. Everything from different holsters and pistols and sights and the renaming of so there's the terminology of teabagging in the male community here in America, and we need to come up with a name for the female version of it so that this could be submitted into the Urban Dictionary.
Oh, okay. So you got a
you
new.
you may be the perfect person to ask. So what is the female version of a tea bag? Oh, Bama Dad, that is great.
Why would I be
love it,
perfect?
Bama.
Why would I be the perfect person to ask? Like, how would I know what the female version of teabagging is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong person.
Tim S out there with the clam slam.
Claps. That actually sounds pretty good.
William now with the clam stamp. Yep, that was one that I suggested. Female version of the tea bag. Yes. The snail stamp, maybe.
I can't read the comments, so
Mark Thomas with dipping the beef flanks in hajoush.
that's too long. Clever, but too long.
None of these guys have ever thought about it or anything.
Man, you just fucked up my roast beef fucking sandwich idea, man.
Why? Why would it screw up your beef sandwich? Like, why? You never ate at that restaurant?
No, because I kind of feel like going to Arby's now. I'm like, I don't know if I should go.
What was the snail one? Like snail tracks or something?
Snail stamp.
Okay.
Yeah,
there's
that
the
one snail stamp. The snail stamp.
Mm-hmm. I've found a few of those on my sheets.
Tim S with the muff bumper.
That's not bad. Or you can call it the beaver
ballistics out the door with Alaskan ballistics hitting the doors with tacos, a sack lunch. Oh, I love it.
Or you can call it the beaver damping.
Fucking Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, you can always call it the camel towing.
The camel toe jam.
There you go. Even better.
Got a question for you guys. Kind of on this, well, not the same track, but it's related to females. What do you think of the new trend of women not wearing bras? Now, before you answer this, because I know we're all guys, and it's your first thought, could be obvious, but keep in mind, this could include your mom, your sister, your daughter. What's your overall opinion?
Well, I guess it depends on the titties, right? It's like not every woman is made to be wearing a leggings.
Okay, I missed the question. I had to go to the bathroom. What's the question?
Oh, please ask the question again.
What's your thought on the new trend of girls not wearing bras? But keep in mind, this could be your mom, your sister, your daughter. So as an overall, what's your thoughts?
Bald has
man.
a solid point. Bald has a solid point in the fact that not everybody is cut of the same cloth, and some women should never adorn yoga pants. With that said, I even go a step further in saying that some men should not go shirtless, but they can. I'm kind of in the camp of I think it's sexist that women can't go topless like men.
Here's my thing. This is what happens when people watch too many National Geographic fucking documentaries. This is what is happening.
Well, you figure, let's try to think about it like I don't know, I can't think of the words, but from my understanding, most bras are for support, but some ladies may not actually need extra support. So, is it a requirement in that sense? I mean, we all have nipples. Everybody knows it. So, is it a major problem if a nipple's popping at the grocery store?
I don't.
Well, also keep in mind that a lot of bras are nothing but a giant lie. A lot of bras are made to make the things appear a lot than they are in real life. Exactly. So keep that in mind too. No bra shows the true colors as well.
It's true. I think false advertisement is like flags should be thrown up. I mean, I've never seen a pair of pants with the padded crotches for men. Not that I'd want a pair, but I'm just stating, I think people would be upset about that.
Well, you can always stick a roll of quarters in your pocket.
Apparently,
Maybe I should have used a different example.
Weirdly, you know how that works.
Like, a shirt with built-in pecs or abs, stuff like that.
Well, you can get the spray on abs. But like Elon Musk said, no woman will choose six-pack over 6 cars. So get back to work.
I don't know about that.
Bama Dad's right on.
What's he saying?
Saying if you have to reach down, if you have to reach down to their waist and to lift them up, then they should probably wear a bra.
Yeah, when you think about it, Bald, I mean, if the type of woman you want only values you if you have 6 cars, isn't that just like a high class prostitute or gold digger? You know what I mean? In a sense, what happens if you lose that stuff? You
That
lose
was
her.
besides the point. That was besides the point. What happens when you lose your 6 pack? You lose her too. So you can kind of with that. It's like maybe woman's just attracted to men that is not a loser. He can make money. That doesn't necessarily mean she's a gold digger. Although would be strong suggestion, but she could be just
Well,
attracted to a successful man.
This conversation sounds like cosmopolitan gone wrong.
so nowadays, women say like you got to be like 6 foot tall. You got to be what is it? The whole 6 figures, some shit. I don't know. Like
I was just
the
about.
average guy doesn't make that.
I was just about to bring that up because I was listening to the radio the other day.
I am 6 foot tall.
And it came up. They were talking about this lady had wrote in. I guess she had a dating profile, and she had 3 requirements: 6-pack, 6 figures, and 6 inches.
Yeah, but 6 inches, that's like overage. That's not a whole lot to be brag about. 6 feet is not a whole lot to brag about either, unless you Daniel. God is my judge. He's 6 feet in the high heels only. Oh wait, he's not here. And 6 figures, yeah. Well, that's a different story. But nothing for nothing. Guys are shallow too. I mean, first thing you're gonna look. I don't know about you guys, but first thing you notice on a girl is her ass and her tits. Then you look at the face, and then you're gonna look at the goddamn personality. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, some guys will go tits, ass.
Guys are looking at visual stimuli, where girls, not all girls, the girls you're referring to are looking at. They want to see your bank account balance before a second date. Like, that's to me that's freaking crazy.
Yeah, well,
like that's there wouldn't be a second date.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The business transaction. That's how ladies come into it. Not all, but some ladies come into it. It's more of a business transaction. Well, if it's a business transaction, then you're just a glorified hoe. I mean, let's call it what it is.
Well, let's be honest, Rod.
Yeah, but truth of matter,
you're not going to have that problem, man. You're too cheap.
I am cheap.
Well, look at it this way.
You know what? I still have fun with a lady. Okay, so let me put it that way.
This fool goes on a date with coupons and shit.
Yeah, but look at it this way: if me and Mario walk in a bar, who's got a better chance of getting laid? Like, unless it's a gay bar, Mario's got no chance.
Hey,
I mean.
I'm bilingual. You are not, motherfucker.
I'm a fucking quadrilingual.
Ultimately, with that question,
who's gonna
with
speak
that question, we got to look at ourselves as guys. We got to look at ourselves as guys with that question. And the fact of the matter is if your boys are approaching your knees, should you be forced to wear a jock strap?
Only if they're
I'm not there yet.
Yeah, man. What the
you should wear a jock strap if you're wearing a kilt. And Mario, I'm like a quadrilingual motherfucker.
Yeah, but you still need subtitles because nobody can understand your ass.
It don't fucking matter. I'm still a lot better looking. You can't get laid in the whorehouse with a fistful of 50s.
Oh, come on.
This motherfucker.
Battlefiend's got something you ain't, man.
And he acts like Mario stole his girl or something. What's going on here?
Oh no!
Oh, Mario can have my girl, especially with all the shit going on right now. He can have her.
All of a sudden, I became the designated asshole. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, well, you're the second shortest guy in the chat. The first one was Daniel, and he quit. So sorry, we're coming after you. Everybody else in this chat is 6 foot plus.
And I still got more game than you, motherfucker.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Well, hold on now, Mario. Are you currently still with your lady?
Absolutely, 26 years.
Oh.
Well, I've been with mine for 28, so he's got 2 more years to go. A lot can happen in 2 years.
Don't curse him. Good God, man. What are you doing? Come on. We're not supposed to play dirty.
Yeah, you're right. I take it back, Mario. I wish you all the best.
It's fucking sour, motherfucker over here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
Misery loves company, huh?
Nah, Rob is absolutely right. Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Unfortunately, my life got better of me.
All right. After you guys are off the minute, shake hands.
You got to remember here as well, too, Ball, that Battle Bean has something you don't, man. Battle Bean has the best freaking eyebrows on the tube.
Well, I tell you one thing. Unless he can lick his own eyebrows, I don't think that matters.
I'm not the one that looks like Hannibal Lecter.
Vanessa Kitty out there just tearing us up, saying all men should be wearing spandex. Then how am I supposed to conceal carry, Vanessa?
Well, same way ladies do. In your man purse.
So who out there has been keeping their eye on powder prices? I haven't bought any powder in a little while, but I kind of figure that I need to just like up my stockpile.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, stupid high right now, man. And oh, by the way, I don't know, they might start the same shit in New York, but our great fucking governor just raised the fucking taxes on any gun prices, anything gun related. So instead of you paying 8.75%, you pay 11%. So fuck that. And that's why I'm glad I bought a bunch of that shit before this whole shit happened. But that's just stupid, man. And the thing about it is, even if you take them to court, you really the court can't really mandate a fucking state to change their taxes because it's unfair to certain people, you know?
They're abusing the hell out of tax.
Well, you got what you voted. Yeah, you got what you voted for. I'm dealing with the same shit in New York, so. I mean, I haven't voted.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I didn't vote for Hochul either, but.
There you go.
Yeah, I know.
The bottom line is that they outnumber us here. That's all that is.
People are stupid. I haven't bought a powder in a while. I mean, there's a local. I would highly suggest check the local places. There's actually I found a local store that had a bunch of powder, and he had actually pretty decent prices. Like I'm gonna go as far like he was at a point that it wasn't worth buying online, paying hazmat and shipping and all that. It was cheaper just buy from him. So plus you're supporting the local guy. So check your local guys. It's sometimes it's worth it. And I would if you don't have a big enough, well, you can never have a big enough stockpile. So bottom line is if you come across the powder for a decent price, and right now decent price, I would say anything below $50 a freaking pound, and just buy. whether you need it or not. If you can afford it, just buy it.
No, I
Because
know.
God
But, you
knows
know,
what's going to happen.
really, I haven't been purchasing anything because I've been good for now. So, but yeah, that's always a good suggestion.
You know, I'm like I said, I'm not buying because I'm in a different situation. I don't even have the access to my reloading equipment right now and my stockpile and everything. But that's a different story. I can't really get into. But if opportunity presents itself and you can buy it and you can afford it, you know, it's not a bad investment. Like back in the day when Walmart was selling the 223 for $7 a box, you know, I'm regretting now I didn't go and hit every freaking Walmart in like a 50-mile radius. You know, it doesn't matter if I spend tens of thousands of dollars. That was
Well,
$7
the
a 50-round box.
the problem with all of us is that none of us can tell the future, man. So that's
Well,
exactly what it is.
none of us are freaking loaded. You know, so don't forget you also need quite a bit of money to do all this. You know, so if you can't really afford it, then you know, like not everybody can go and spend thousands of dollars on a primers and powder. You know, like some of us can only afford X amount every so often.
Well, the biggest issue as far as powder goes is one of the main components isn't being imported into the country right now. So that's one of the bigger issues. So powder prices ain't going to go down anytime soon. But we'll start going through the room. Paul, we'll start with you. Go ahead, man.
Not much. Sorry for showing up so late. You know, thanks for having me. I got a lot of stuff going on in life I can't really get into, but you know what? All I'm gonna say is those that know me and those that commented, thanks for the support. Thanks for the prayers, and I'm keeping my head down and my chin up.
All right, awesome. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you jumping in. Battle Beam, what you got, brother?
Nothing much, man. I'm actually heading to Dallas this week. I got training over there at corporate, so just I don't know if there's anybody in Dallas area, but if you are, hit me up. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Just trying to stay busy and doing what I got to do to take care of myself and the family. But that's all I got. Thanks for the invite. Really appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Good to have you. Rob, what you got, man?
Not a whole lot. Been just busy with life, so you never know what pops up. Got a out of town visitor, which is turning into like what, a 2-week house guest now or something. So I don't know. We gotta be entertaining and things as well. So we'll see what happens. About to get dragged to the movies. So I wish everybody a good evening. You know, eat a salad, stay in shape, because with all this gear and skill and tactics, don't mean shit if you can't, you know, puff it up the stairs. So we're all at different levels, different points. Keep pushing. Yeah. That's all we can do. Other than that, thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure to have you on, man. Yeah, we had some good conversations, bounce back and forth all over the place, but definitely some good topics and stuff going on. Really appreciate the side chat out there. You guys were throwing it in, really jumping in with us too. So we always appreciate you guys. I'll get you guys an update video on what's going on in my back here later in the week. Hopefully have some more answers Tuesday. So I'll let you guys kind of know what's going on probably Wednesday as soon as I have some answers. But appreciate everyone out there for helping out and being a part of that. It really does help a lot. So thank you guys. With that being said, I'm going to throw it over to Allen to take us out right.
Unmute yourself, fool.
Brace yourself.
Oh man, great chat. Other than some of my technical difficulties over here, yeah. Thank you all for jumping into the room. A great side chat. thank you for entertaining us and allowing us to spend a little time with you. I very well might have come up with an actual topic for an actual video. May or may not come to fruition, but what I do want you to remind you to do is to keep them magazines loaded and your Shadow 2 compact loaded. Woo!